is around $1,000. Right here, I built up the waterfall with some boulders. Hey, what's up, Aquamigos? How are you guys doing today? As you can see, I'm up here at the pool ponds. The new pool pond and the OG pool pond. Let's take a quick look at the fish. Yeah. So I've actually been trying to plan out how I'm going to do the filtration for the in-ground pond build. And I've kind of talked about it before, but I want the filtration to actually be over here in this area. And I have actually been playing around with a couple different ideas, but I think I am going to go with my original idea of building another trash can filter, kind of like the one that I have right now, except I'm going to design it a little bit differently. And I did actually go and look at like the professional biofilters and pond spillways that like the professional pond construction companies actually use. And I was looking up the prices of those, and they are insanely expensive, way more expensive than I originally thought they were going to be. Like a biofilter, maybe slightly bigger than my trash can filter, with a big spillway is around $1,000. And that's not including any of the plumbing that you have to do with it. Mind you, it is a very nice spillway. I'm sure it does a great job and it works very well, but I think I'm just going to go with my original idea for doing a DIY trash can filter. And I actually want to try to make a rendering of what my filtration and waterfall will actually look like. As for the skimmer, I'm not going to be using the skimmer that I made before because, you know, check it out. The DIY skimmer slash pre-filter that I made for my pool pond, it's highly effective. I love this thing. It works really well. However, it just doesn't look that nice. So I'm kind of on the fence with what I want to do. On one hand, I could get one of the professional pond skimmers that I've seen online. I saw this one, it goes for around $200. And the top of it looks like a stone, so it would like camouflage into the scenery very well. Or the other option that I'm considering is like a fully submergible pond skimmer that I would make myself out of a 5-gallon bucket. I saw a video on the Ozponds YouTube channel where he made one of those. He's an Australian YouTuber. He makes videos about ponds and like pond builds, stuff like that. And it would actually be like pretty easy to camouflage something like that. So I might go with the DIY route and make a skimmer out of a 5-gallon bucket and save the $200. So those are kind of the two options that I'm considering right now. So I kind of had the idea in my head that I would be pretty happy if I could keep the cost of my DIY in-ground pond build to be under $2,000. And I was thinking probably one of the most expenses of the project would be buying the pond liner and the underlayment. So I did some research and looked up some quotes of how much it would cost me to buy the pond liner and underlayment for my pond build. And it turns out that there are two different kinds of pond liner. There's one kind called EPDM pond liner, and there's another kind called RPE pond liner. RPE pond liner stands for reinforced polyethylene. So when I was comparing these two different kinds of pond liners, it looks like each one kind of has pros or cons. So apparently people usually say that EPDM pond liner is usually more expensive than RPE pond liner. When I got a quote, that the prices came out to almost exactly the same. So I don't really see like a big difference in price there. And just from the quick research that I've done, it looks like EPDM pond liner is actually easier to puncture. However, it is easier to move around corners and do bends with. RPE pond liner seems to be more resistant to punctures, and apparently it is 3 times stronger than EPDM pond liner. So it looks like I'm probably going to go with the RPE pond liner. So I just went online and I found a pond liner calculator, and you go ahead and put in your max length. I estimated the max length of my pond to be 13 feet long, and then you put in your max width. I estimated mine to be 9 feet long, and then you put in your max depth. I know I was saying before that I think I want my pond to be about 3 feet deep in the deepest part. I think I might push that a little further, do like 3.5 feet deep. And when I enter that information into the calculator, it looks like I'm going to need a pond liner that is 19 feet wide, 23 feet long, which makes a total of 437 square feet. And for the RPE pond liner, it looks like this is going to cost me $397. Now, some people say with the RPE pond liner, you don't need an underlayment. but I think I am going to get it just in case. And for the amount of underlayment that I would need for my pond build, the price for that would come out to $306, making the total for the underlayment and the liner a total of $703, which actually isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting the pond liner to cost me like around $1,000. I don't know why I thought it was going to be so much more expensive. And of course, I am going to need other materials. When it comes to the filtration, I think I'm going to buy another trash can like this. I'm not going to use this one. This one we actually use as a trash can. So I'm going to go buy another trash can just like this. They go for around $40. And I'm going to dig it into the ground a little bit around where I have this one right now. So just imagine where this one is right now. I'm going to dig it in the ground and maybe just have it like that much of it below ground. So all that will be below ground. So the top of it will probably be almost about as high as the pool pond. I want it to just stick up out of the ground about 2 feet. My other trash can filter looks a bit taller because it's on top of cinder blocks. And the reason that I'm not using this one is because I'll show you this really quick just in case you don't know about this. When I was building this trash can filter, I drilled into the bottom of the trash can and it actually started leaking one day. I ended up being able to stop it from leaking, but I don't want to have to deal with that in the new filter. So for the new pond filter, instead of having my intake go in through the bottom of the trash can, I'm going to have it go in through the top, and then I'm going to have a 90-degree angle and have another PVC pipe going straight to the bottom of the trash can, and then it will fill up and I'll have another output almost exactly how I have this one. Now, of course, with the new pond build, I don't want my trash can to be visible like that one is. I want to hide it as well as I can. So the new trash can filter is going to be sticking out of the ground about 2 feet up. What I want to do is I want to build a small retaining wall around here, and then I want to backfill it so there will be like a little hill. The trash can filter will just be sticking up a little bit out of the dirt, and the output will be going straight into a small waterfall. And I'm not going to have that much space for the waterfall because the filter is probably going to be right there. I don't want to go too close to this tree, and then the pond is going to basically start exactly where my pool pond starts. So I'm going to go into Photoshop and I'm going to try to Photoshop like what that's going to look like, just to give you guys an idea. And honestly, to give myself a better idea of what it's going to look like. So with the pond liner and the underlayment costing us just over $700, I'm kind of anticipating spending probably just another $200 on like just random materials that I'm going to need. And then I think that'll leave me a pretty decent budget to buy the boulders and the rocks that I'm going to need. And I'm pretty optimistic that I will be able to build this for under $2,000. Okay guys, so it's the next day. I'm here doing a screen recording and I did some Photoshop work to kind of make a rendering of what my new pond filter and waterfall is kind of going to look like from the side. So as you can see right here, I have the trash can in the location where I am planning on having the filter. And like I said, I am going to put this trash can slightly in the ground. So let me go ahead and show you guys what that's going to look like. So that's what it looks like with the trash can kind of in the ground, just sticking up about 2 feet. And I also cleaned out some of the plants from the side right here. And I also went ahead and photoshopped, kind of like did a rough Photoshop job of what it will look like with the pond in the ground right there. So I took out the pool pond and this is the pond right there. And then just to kind of illustrate what I want the output to look like, this is it right here, this pink stuff that I drew in. So this is right here will be the PVC pipe coming out of the trash can. This triangle right here is kind of supposed to represent the waterfall. So we got the PVC pipe and the waterfall. This layer right here is representing the rocks. So these circles right here, these orange circles are supposed to be like the rocks that are going to kind of build up the sides of the waterfall. And then this green layer right here is supposed to represent the retaining wall that I'm going to build around the sides and the back of the trash can filter so that I'll be able to backfill it and kind of make that waterfall. And it's also going to help hide the trash can. So I went ahead and just photoshopped all these things in. So let me go ahead and hide these again and I'll show you guys what the kind of like a rough rendering of the wall is going to look like. So this is right here. I just kind of did it out of cinder blocks. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use cinder blocks, but for now that's fine. And then right here, I built up the waterfall with some boulders, and these are some plants right here. Those are actually bird of paradise plants, which I kind of want to use for the pond. And then right here, I just went ahead and put in some more plants to kind of help hide that wall. So this is kind of what my waterfall filtration setup is kind of gonna look like. I don't know if that's what it's going to look like exactly when I actually build it. I guess it'll probably depend on the kind of rocks I'm able to get and stuff like that, but that is a pretty close idea to what I want to build. And hopefully I will be able to make something that looks very close to this. So that's gonna be just about it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this filter waterfall setup. Originally, I did want to do 2 trash can filters, but I think 1 should probably be okay. When I start building it, it won't be that hard for me to add another trash can if I want to, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And of course, guys, if you did like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you went down there and gave this video a like. That would help me out so much. If you would like to see more fish keeping and pond videos in the future, make sure to go down there and hit that subscribe button and also that bell notifications button. And if you guys would like to follow me on Instagram, I'll go ahead and put my handle right here. It's at YT_Tobias, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Peace.